turning on the microphone.
That helps.
Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 259.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you're new here this morning, please say hi down below.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics. And every Monday, we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. X. X.
And we have a website.
Dang it.
Which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we mess up, and apparently it's frequently and often, you'll be alerted to it. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch.
Happy Monday.
If you are new here, Keto Beyond the Couch is all about our subscribers. Every Monday, we like to go live at 10 a.m. whenever possible, and just address questions and highlight wins and success stories that our community has had over the last week. We really like to focus on community, and we have a few places that we like to do that. Our main place is our Mighty Networks group, which is members.twocrazyketos.com, completely free. If you choose to support us financially, you can do that in there as well. We also have a Facebook group, but we definitely spend more time in our Mighty Networks group. And another way we do Keto Beyond the Couch, if you're new here, we're going to go through our normal Keto Beyond the Couch, answer questions from the last week. The last 10 or 15 minutes, we will focus on the live stream chat. So if you have a question, if you want to talk about something during the live stream, either A, hold off to like the last 10 or 15 minutes, or B, you can use the super chat function, which is a little $sign that is down below in the chat window. It does 2 things. Number 1, it benefits the channel. This is our full-time job. We greatly appreciate that. But more importantly, it highlights our screen to let us know that you have a question. What's in your coffee?
It's just black coffee.
That doesn't look black.
It's
I
not.
guess you got a good crema
the
on it.
Nespresso like foam stuff up. So I'm
doing a 36-hour fast.
We're doing a 36-hour fast because it's been a minute. It's just been an absolute minute.
I need to just flush out the excess soda and cheese.
And I'm gonna challenge you. No flavored salty.
No, I need to.
You gotta get the unflavored.
You're doing coffee.
Yes.
I'm doing salty.
Yeah.
Because electrolytes is super important.
Well, it is important, but there's an unflavored one.
Orange.
I am in disagreement. Mom and Dad are disagreeing right now.
You've got calories in your coffee.
I understand.
And there's carbs in that.
I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about the sweetener.
I'm fine.
We're having a moment.
The only thing I'm gonna have is a flavored salty, which is a good point.
And John is pointing out that this is a very small cup of coffee for me.
It's not your first one.
Shut up, Meg. Who let you back in the house?
But no, that brings up a good point.
Yes.
It wasn't an intended point, but it brings up a good point. If you want to do a fast, if you're
you
having
can do it your way.
If you're
and not your wife's way.
If you're having an eating window, which we always suggest, like
yes.
have an eating window, not necessarily
sun up
like,
to sundown.
You don't need to do intermittent fasting, but you should not be snacking in between meals. And if the only way you can do that is with a flavored electrolyte, because it's important to get the electrolytes in, then have your flavored electrolyte. On the list of things that are going to affect you, that is on the very, very bottom.
Right.
Adding whipped cream to your coffee, that's kind of
shots
on
fired.
The top. I'm proud of you. No whipped cream.
I have not. I've been really good since
we also only have 1 can left.
That video was an eye opener for me. If it doesn't bless anyone else's heart, it was an eye opener for me, and I have changed the way that I consume it since the video came out. But yes, it's been a minute since we've done an extended fast of any type, and so we're like, you know what? We're coming off an awesome weekend, fun with the kids, nothing to regret. We kept it completely keto.
We made a good video.
We had a great video that we taped while we were gone. Looking forward to sharing that with you guys this week. But we thought, hey, you know what? I feel like super stuffed. Why don't we just do a 36-hour fast? And it was exactly that much thought went into it.
Yeah, because there's not there's a law of diminishing returns when it comes to
Right.
extended fasting. Like 24, 36 hours is a good window. When you jump out to 48, 72 and longer,
It starts to become
it's a law of diminishing returns, and then you could start losing muscle and bone density. So like I like the whole 36 hour. It's listen, half of it you're sleeping anyway.
I love it
Right?
when my
You're
goals are
sleeping-
achieved while sleeping.
You're sleeping for at least 16
Why
hours.
couldn't
of that
college
fast.
be that
So
easy?
we started last night after we ate dinner. We ate some wings on the way home from Orlando.
Those were road wings.
And then, you're done eating, and then we'll eat again tomorrow for breakfast. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to go about it. But again, like if the worst thing you're doing is some salty, like I won't do as much, but I also have lacrosse. And I do not want to dehydrate.
No, you
and
don't.
I want to make sure
I'm
I'm
a
getting
big
in
fan of
enough
hydration.
liquids. Before we get into Keto Beyond the Couch,
Yes.
I wanted to give a shout out to Meter.
Yes,
So
Meter.
we came home to a nice package, and they sent us a little gift thing.
They did not know that this was on my Christmas wish list, and I did not get this thing.
Well, here's the thing is that, so for those of you who may be new here, we just completed a couple weeks ago filming RV Unplugged.
Yes.
Which is a reality show very similar to Survivor, but for RVers where you're unplugged.
And fires, like campfires, are RVing to me.
And
like that
one of
is
the
camping.
sponsors for RV Unplugged Season 2 was
Solo
Solo
Stove.
So we had access to Solo Stoves while we
whole
were there.
time.
Like, it was nice to have the fire, and once you get your fire going, they call it a smokeless. It's not smokeless when you first start the fire.
Or
it's
if you
once you
overstuff
get your
it.
fire going, it is a lot less smoke. I mean, if you don't build the fire right, you will get smoke, and it was very cold, so we were building ginormous fires.
Bonfires.
But one of the things that we learned, they have is these little tabletop units.
Yes.
And Rachel's like, that is so cool.
This is a true
And Meter
solo-
sent us one.
This is a solo stove because Joe on the set would be like, where's Rachel? When in doubt, she's around the campfire.
Because we have a Solo Stove, and we love them.
If you can't find me, I'm at the solo stove.
But this is a really cool one.
But
'cause
this is
it
one
goes
for a
on the
tabletop.
table. Can we even open this?
Well, I'm not setting it on fire here in the living room. But
I would.
I know you would, baby. There's all kinds of things that you would do. But you can at least show how cute and compact it is.
Because we
I thought
even
that was
learned
really sweet.
when we were on the set of RV Unplugged. Look at that.
Oh my
Look-
gosh, look how cute this is.
We learned that you can actually, with a Solo Stove, use wood pellets. Like,
Yes.
barbecue wood pellets. Let me
Funny story.
Look at
Somebody
that. Look
somebody
how nice-
actually
oh,
overfilled
it
it.
says Meter on it.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
So look how awesome that is.
See, that's portable. Like I can bring that along with us when we're camping and not worry. Like I can put that on a
Put it up for a sec.
picnic table. So some places you can't have a fire ring,
Oh, they gave us a $25 coupon.
but you can, you know what I mean, have like a
We'll
tabletop
put that
thing.
together later. But
Like-
we wanted to say thank you to Meter.
Yes.
Also, they sent us this. I'm going to open these because I don't know what they are.
Let's see what they are.
So this is...
We have meters, so maybe
I
we
know we
can
do.
do a little giveaway.
This is the Meter 2 Plus.
Oh, nice.
And then... What is this one? This is the Meter Plus. The Meter 1 Plus. Don't open it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Well,
Because
and
it's
it's
sealed.
completely sealed, hermetically
Well, you know what?
sealed.
Here's the thing. We already have meters.
This is basically a smart wireless
We've
meat
all video on it.
thermometer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we are gonna actually be filming a full day of eating tomorrow.
We will.
So why don't we do this on the full day of eating? We'll give these away. I don't like giving away
Nice.
things during
In
a live
a live,
stream
'cause
because
maybe
it
somebody
confuses-
missed it.
Well, it confuses people with do I comment in the chat? Do I comment
So stay
make sure
tuned.
you're subscribed to the channel and you hit the bell button so that
Yep.
you're notified when that video goes up. And yeah, we'll film the full day of eating and we will give away some meters.
Yeah, I
on
think
that
that'd be
full
awesome.
day of eating.
That's a great giveaway. Those things ain't cheap. They
No,
ain't free.
They're like over $100. So
How about-
thank you very much, Meter.
Thank you.
Not a
We'll pass
sponsored
along.
video, but we did want to at least thank them for sending that to us.
And I am so freaking excited about this. I may not share it with everybody. I may not.
well,
because-
you can bring that in the car when we go on our month-long trip.
Because here's the thing. The one that we purchased for our home is rarely at our home.
Anthony takes it to church.
Anthony takes it everywhere because it's perfect for just like hanging out at the beach, friends, like
Maybe
a
Solo Stove
guitar.
can sponsor us. Solo Stove, do you want to sponsor us?
Hey, what's up, Solo Stove?
So, okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Before we get started, Aaron, thank you very much for the $1
Thanks, Aaron.
super chat. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
You got a question? We could answer.
Jen does say, I watched some of your videos from a year ago, and it was from Keto from the Couch. When did you change to Beyond? When did we? I guess
I couldn't tell you the precise day.
I couldn't tell you the date. So this is a good evolution for people who may be new here.
Yeah.
So we started off with Keto on the Couch. It was pretty cringy. We were sitting on a couch.
We were orange.
Then when COVID started, we moved from the couch into our studio and started doing it live.
Right.
Because it's just easier. Keto Beyond the Couch, when it used to be pre-recorded, took us about 9 hours between filming, editing, adding all the overlays, Rachel having to watch for my editing mistakes, and then me repairing the editing mistakes, then re-watching it. It was like 8 to 9 hours.
Process.
So we started doing it live, and we were here, and then people would make comments like, you're not on a couch anymore. And we're like, yeah.
You're right.
And we started thinking about, it was actually a subscriber that suggested that
you're living
since
life
you guys
beyond.
live life off of the couch and you encourage us all to get out and explore, why not rename it to Keto Beyond the Couch? And that is what we did. And now we've branded our motto for both of our channels, Two Crazy Ketos and Two Crazy Campers, of
Living
beyond the couch.
Yeah.
And that is our motto. Live beyond the couch. Don't just sit on a couch and do nothing. So yeah. Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
Thanks for the $5 super chat. Said my birthday was on Friday. Can you please sing happy birthday to
Absolutely.
me? Make my birthday complete.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stacy. Happy birthday to you and many more. So many more, Stacy.
Aaron, thanks for another $10 super chat. Said I struggled to lose forever, then I stopped trying to lose and decided to gain.
Okay.
Gain life, gain time with my loved ones,
yes.
space between my belly pants, and the mindset of losing equaled failing to me.
Wow.
I love that.
That is so stinking powerful, Aaron, and something that I really hope people are going to tap into today. When you're thinking about what are you gaining and what are you losing, do you have your eyes on the most important thing? Are you gaining life? Are you gaining friendship? Are you gaining experiences? Or are you only focused on whether or not you're gaining or losing weight? Because if that's all you're looking at, you're losing big time. Losing the ability to enjoy the present moment. That is powerful, Aaron. Way to go.
So, okay, ready? Let's jump into Keto Beyond the Couch. We're going to start off with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. This was a meme that Donna put up.
Hey,
said,
Donna.
You get what you focus on, so focus on what you want.
Amen. I mean, that's it. I was reading this morning about what captures your attention. Okay, so, and it's funny because when you think about, like, you know, even a relationship, it's like grab attention, capture attention. It's very like, it's almost violent, right? It directs you. And so what captures your attention, what has your attention right now is
a 1-year-old girl
is influencing the direction of your life. And a really great book, if you've never read it before, it's called The Principle of the Path, and it will, you know, share with you direction, not intention, leads to destination. So you have the intention of living your life a certain way, focusing on your health in a certain way, but are you going in the direction of that? Well, some of the things that move you in a certain direction is those things that have captured your attention, right? Like, that's why they say you have to pay attention, because being able to be in control of your attention, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Right?
I need to clarify. I just said what has your attention. I'm like a 1-year-old girl.
Our granddaughter.
That's our grandbaby. Before somebody takes that and
out of context and you're a weirdo or something.
We're talking about our 1-year-old grandbaby. We got to spend the weekend with her, and it's like she is Sorry, she's the joy of my heart.
It's just the best thing ever.
I hate to tell my children, but I think it's like God, Rachel, grandbaby, then children now.
And it's like Rachel, it's like this, right?
We've put the grandbaby above the children now.
But it's
It's so
one of my favorite things. So I guess it was probably Michelle had captured a photograph of you in the middle of a theme park, sitting down on the ground, basically looking at and waiting and taking it at Peyton's pace. So like Peyton liked a certain area, you just plopped down right there and was just in the moment. And anybody that's ever traveled in a theme park with Joe knows it's a hunting expedition for like, how quickly can we conquer this park, get on every single ride, right? Like it's a hunting expedition. So what is the one thing that could cause Joe to stop in his tracks, plop down on the floor, and just take the day at the pace of a 1-year-old? Your granddaughter.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what you were paying attention to, and it influenced the entire direction of your day.
Yeah.
So maybe what we need to do is decide what we are going to pay attention to this week.
Okay, next one we have is from Sally.
Hey, Sally.
Sally said, I set a goal to walk an average of 5,000 steps a day in 2024.
Nice.
I started out really slow and got way behind. I finally caught up. I'm happy to now have an average steps per day of over 5,000. We're on vacation traveling to coast from Washington to San Diego. And look at it, she's got an average of 5,900 steps.
This is a built-in thing to help you be proud of yourself. Now, there's always like this thing about what is the benefit of cardio? What is the benefit of steps? To me, I think that everybody needs to have some sort of a movement or step goal every single day. Why? Is it because it's going to make you dump a ton of weight? No, it's because it creates something that you can instantly set a goal for yourself and be proud of yourself and notice a point of pride every single day. Without it, like, what else are you looking at accomplishing every day? Like, I think it's great to have a things to do list. I think it's great, to be looking at your macros and what are you doing with that if that's something that's important to you. But I think that step goals can really be a win-win because it's something that you set for yourself, but it's me time, it's peace. Oftentimes it's getting out in nature. It's a reason to go outside. Like, I think it's a powerful thing.
It's about movement.
Yeah.
And that that is what we're going to be talking about today. It's just about movement. You don't necessarily have to have a thing like I have to move this much, but you do need to move.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring us to our very first subscriber of the week, which is Teresa. And Teresa, she had a long post. I kind of shortened it a little bit. She said, for over a month now, I've been working on strength training with the goal of working out with the amount of weight that I've lost. As I lose more weight, my workouts get harder. Perfect. I'm using a hiking backpack with currently 25 2-pound water bottles full of sand.
Wow.
I highly recommend this kind of experiment. If you've only lost 20 pounds in the last year, or if you want to lose another 20 or 30 pounds, try carrying that amount up and down stairs and around the block. Then do it without the weight. You might feel like you're being pushed up the stairs, and you'll realize how much easier the thing is just 20 or 30 pounds less weight on your body. It's super motivating, and it helps you appreciate your progress.
Wow.
And I put this in there, and that's where we kind of decided to talk today about exercise. Do you need to exercise? Nobody wants to hear this. Yes.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
You do.
Do you need to go to the gym for 2 hours a day?
No. Look at what Teresa's doing.
Well, look at what Teresa's doing, and here's the thing. If you are going to the gym, which many people do, and you're going to the gym for an hour or an hour and a half, and you're just jumping on the treadmill, the exercise bike, the elliptical, those kind of things, and you're doing a bunch of cardio, and you're taxing your heart, you're going well above your heart rate, like way above, you're not really helping yourself lose weight. I know nobody wants to hear that, and there's going to be a whole bunch of keyboard warriors in the comment section later on.
Strength training is important.
Telling me I'm wrong. But doing cardio is not going to impact your overall weight loss. what's going to impact your overall weight loss and help your metabolism is strength training, building muscle. Muscle controls your metabolism. I'm not saying cardio is bad.
No,
cardio
it's not
is
bad.
great. It's great for endurance. It's great for your heart. It's if you're not taxing your heart. It's great for your cardiovascular
Relaxing.
system. For breathing. It's good for all those. But to lose weight and go like, oh, the treadmill says I burned 500 calories. It is not good for that. You need to work on strength training. So when we say you need to exercise, here is the exercise that you need to do. You need to move every day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving every day does not mean go to the gym for an hour and run balls to the walls on a treadmill. That's actually not
Balls
good
to
for
the
you.
wall.
It means you're going to every day spend 20 or 30 minutes moving. And I don't care if you're doing that in 10-minute intervals throughout the day. If you're in your office and you don't have an opportunity to do a lot, once an hour, get up and walk around for 5 minutes. Once every couple hours, do 10 minutes. During your lunch break, go walk around. If it's cold outside, walk around the inside of your building. Go to a mall. Walk up and down the mall. Have a step goal. But move. If you're stuck in your house, when you got to go to get the mail from the street, make that trip 5 times.
Right.
Whatever you need to do, just double and triple and quadruple it so that you're moving more and more every day. Then you need to do functional fitness. Things like push-ups, pull-ups, squats, planks. Again, you don't need to go to a gym. Strength training, look what Teresa's doing.
Well, I think that is a powerful way to take a negative mindset and make it a positive mindset. If you are somebody right now who's saying, I have only lost this much weight, whatever it is. Hey, I started keto January 1st. I've only lost 20 pounds. I challenge you to do what Teresa's doing. Find a way to put 20 pounds into a totable thing and go carry that around.
Yeah. And
use
it's
it as
not costing a lot of money.
Use it as a weightlifting, strength training device to help you get to that next level in your journey. Because we're talking about strength training really can help you to lose more weight. Right. It can help you
maintain the weight loss.
So take that thing that's been aggravating you, that negative, and let it grow those muscles that are going to get you to this next leg of your keto journey.
Next one we have is from Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Becky said 4-year ketoversary flew by on February 16th. Pain in my hips is gone. Yes. Plantar fasciitis is gone. Way less headaches. Down 6 sizes. My boobs are gone too.
Same.
I had already been doing Whole Foods for a bit. 196 to 163. Still ways to go, but I feel like a rock star.
You are a rock star. And boy, if you ever get the opportunity to hang out with Becky, do it. Do not miss out on that opportunity. We were so thankful that she and Paul came to the 2KK cruise in January. Just a beautiful couple, a precious young woman that really is fun to be around. She is just an absolute delight. I love you so much, Becky, and I miss your face on the daily. She just made every day wonderful.
Let's take a quick fade to black and come back with some more.
This is a week to try something new. You know why?
Why?
This is a leap year week.
Oh, that's right.
This is a week when we get an extra day in February. For some people, they're having a birthday once in 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty cool.
You mentioned the 2KK getaway cruise that we had in January. Just a reminder, if you're new here, we are having another one in December. We will be traveling on the Oasis of the Seas starting on December 8th out of Fort Lauderdale. It is a 6-night cruise. There is information down below in the description box if you want to get more information on it. We have, I think, about 20 cabins left, somewhere around there, 20, 25 cabins, something like that. And we are super excited to be just going and hanging out. Our 2KK getaway cruise there's no speakers. This is all about community. And we're going to do things even a little bit more than we did last time. So we're going to try to get a room more often. We have a place to just hang out, get to know each other, play games, scavenger hunts that don't include looking for a sunrise that doesn't happen.
I know. This is a friendship. Get it? A friendship.
But we're super excited. So if you're interested, hit up the link down below. We just got a super chat. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Marie,
Marie,
for the $4.99 super chat. Can you explain strength training? Why it's good for bone health as well? A friend is arguing that it's bad for our bones.
Oh.
Well, number one, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but it builds the strength in your bones. I mean, it's all about building your muscles. Listen, here's what happens. When you lose your muscle, that's what's going to help you not have brittle bones. If you look at medically, a lot of times people die from the flu and stuff like that when they get older. And one of the things, it doesn't even make sense of, like, you think about what happens. Someone breaks their hip. They break their hip, they go into the hospital, and then they end up getting the flu many times and die because they got susceptible to, they were put around all those germs and everything in the hospital. What caused the hip to break? Muscle loss, bone density loss. And it's not just working out, it's also eating the right foods.
It is.
It's also getting enough protein to support that muscle growth, to support your bone density. That's why Dr. Berry talks about with beef, butter, bacon, and egg, you may very well go on beef, butter, bacon, and egg for 30, 60, or 90 days and not lose 1 pound.
Right.
But you will most likely lose inches, which is what happened with Rachel and myself, because you may also be gaining muscle and you may be gaining bone density because the foods you're eating is going to encourage bone density and muscle growth. And so we need to support the bones. We need to, as you're working out, you're going to be building up that muscle, which is also going to, when you're eating the right foods, will help to strengthen your bones. So that's why it's so important. First one we have is from Vicky and Ryan's Gold Adventures.
Hey, Vicky and Ryan, does diet soda mess up keto? Wow, it's a
loaded question.
Great question, though, because I think that we all stop for a minute and say to ourselves, like, could I have more momentum in my health journey if I wasn't drinking diet soda? And so for me, the first thing that I have to ask myself as somebody that used diet soda and coffee a lot was, what am I drinking this for? When am I drinking this? For a long time, I drank diet soda to avoid eating food because I would be hungry, and my grandmother actually would call diet soda belly wash. Anybody else have a grandmother that, like, belly wash was what you would describe as beverages that you didn't need, that you consumed regularly? So I would just try to use diet soda to not eat. Well, would that mess up a keto journey? Yes, in the sense that I would be ignoring hunger signals and satiation signals by drinking the diet soda.
So, yeah, it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So let's break it down from the very beginning. When you say, does it mess up keto? Will diet soda kick you out of ketogenesis and ketosis? Most likely not, because it is 0 calorie. It doesn't have sugar in it. However, it can and usually will mess you up in other areas. And diet soda is a kryptonite for me. It is my my coffee.
Right.
So the way diet soda, number one, can mess you up is it is loaded with a lot of chemicals. There are a lot of chemicals in diet soda. If you really wanted to get cleaner, use something like Zevia, which is far fewer chemicals. It's like natural flavors, stevia, and then seltzer water. So that is a better version, as Dr. Berry would say, a less bad version. The real problem with diet soda, especially things like Coke Zero and stuff like that, is some of the sweeteners, depending on the flavors and the brands you're getting, you've got things like acesulfame potassium, you've got aspartame. A lot of those things can cause inflammation, gut extension. I know it does for me. Like when we go on trips, I will drink diet soda. I drank a lot of diet soda this weekend and came home feeling like, ugh, like I can see the puffiness and like the building in my belly because it causes just like a gastric distress for me. So that's one of the reasons that we're doing like a 36-hour fast. Just like I don't feel optimal. And sometimes when I come off of a short fast like that, it makes me feel more optimal. Like it helps me flush that stuff out. I'm not punishing myself. I want to be clear. I'm not doing a binge and purge. I'm not punishing myself. It'll make me feel better to just get that stuff out of me. The other problem with diet soda is because it is sweet, for some people, it can actually aid in wanting other sweet things.
Right.
It can also, when you're drinking diet soda or Celsius or any of these other things, for some people, it could make them want to eat. It makes them hungry.
If it's a caffeinated
When
beverage.
I got started on keto, I gave up everything but diet soda, and I lost a lot of weight. To get to the next level, I found that anytime I would go for an extended period of time, like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or longer, I would have better results without the diet soda. Do I still drink it sometimes? Yes, I do. Does that impede my journey? Probably. It's what is important to you. I would say if you are going to drink diet soda, my advice would be to drink it with a meal.
Right.
Don't have it all day long in between meals for a few reasons. As again we said, for many people it will cause them to want to eat. But the other issue is that for some people the sweetener or the sweet that touches your tongue causes an insulin reaction. Even though it's 0 calorie, what happens is for some people there's something called the cephalic insulin response, where your body thinks it's getting sugar, so it begins producing a little bit of insulin for a short period of time because it's anticipating this sugar coming. Then when it doesn't get it, it stops producing insulin. But the problem is, every time your body produces insulin, you can't lose weight because your body can't lose weight in the presence of insulin because it is a growth hormone. So I would advise, if you're going to have it with a meal. Don't have it in between meals. And again, see how you're doing with it, and then go 30, 60, or 90 days without it and see, do your results change? And that will many times answer your own question because it is different for everybody.
It is.
Next one is from Sean.
Hey, Sean, I love what Rachel said about trying new things. Don't let fear about new things control you. Rise above that fear. Most of us have battled more terrifying things, but you just need to realize it. And sometimes it's not just new things, but it's revisiting old things that you would put into the compartment of, I don't do that thing. So for some people like me, I folded my arms and was like, I don't like to move. I don't like to go outside. I don't like to do stuff. I just like to watch movies, hang on the couch, relax. Like I created this script and said it so many times I believed it to be true, which was, I'm more of an indoor person. I don't like to move my body. And so because I said it, I followed through with that. So maybe this is the time to decide, say things even before it becomes a reality. I'm a person who loves to get my steps in every day before you take that first step. And just start to believe it and let yourself move accordingly. Because, hey, I used to move myself according to what I used to tell myself, which is, I don't like to do stuff. I get really upset if I get sweaty, or I just don't like to move my body. Like, that's what I said, and that's what I did.
Right. Next one is from Kim.
Hey, Kim.
We all have ups and downs for sure. You guys are so good helping me get back on track.
Aww.
I've lost 40 pounds over the years, but struggle these days. I've put back 10 pounds, and you guys are helping me get back on track. Fasting is my new bestie. I'm hoping this helps me. Keep it coming. I look forward to the next one.
Thank you, Kim.
Next one is from Julia.
Hey, Julia, great live. Rachel gave me an aha moment. We have been ordering naked wings from a wing place near us and saucing at home. Never even thought about the fact that they were probably frying in inflammatory oils. Haven't ordered from there in a bit, and the scale started moving again. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it is worth an investigation of those things that you rely on a regular basis. If you have a place that is your go-to once a week or twice a week to rely on for a convenience meal, and there's nothing wrong with a convenience meal. There's nothing wrong with relying on a restaurant to be able to have something hot cooked up for you where you could take it home and not have to cook for yourself. There's nothing wrong about that. But if this is a place that you regularly order from, you need to have a conversation with the restaurant, with the chef, and be able to say like, hey, what are the oils you're cooking in? What is your process? Hey, I'm a great customer. You see me all the time. So I have a right to ask about some things.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We love wings. We discovered a few years ago Buffalo Wild Wings cooks their wings in beef tallow, which has actually created some controversy within the vegetarian and vegan community because they can't eat anything there that is fried because it's being cooked in beef tallow.
Right.
And so they've tried to get Buffalo Wild Wings to stop, and they don't. So it's made with beef tallow, which is a healthy fat. We used to go, because it was much cheaper, to Winn-Dixie because they had a wing bar, and it was like, here's a big container. All the wings you can stuff into that container for $14. You'd be surprised how many wings that we could fit into that container if you choose to take the time to play Jenga with, or Tetris with that wing container. The problem is I noticed every time we ate those wings, I would get like 5 pounds of inflammation.
Our joints
And it's
hurt.
because they cook in seed oil.
Yeah.
So, if you're eating out a lot, you should scrutinize the ingredients in what you're eating when you're going out to these restaurants more.
Right.
If you're eating out once in a blue moon, do the best you can. My advice is always like, again, 90% is good enough. If you go out to eat once a month, and you're going to have a salad, and the salad is made with a bad seed oil, I wouldn't worry about it. So long as when you're not going out to eat, you're eating the better type of ingredients, using things like avocado oil, using beef tallow as your frying fat. If you're going to go out to eat several times, you should scrutinize it even more. Again, we came home, I just feel the inflammation on me. Well, we ate out every day for 2 straight days, 3 straight days. So, we ate wings. What else? I can't even think. We ate breakfast at the hotel.
We had Rodizio.
We had Rodizio Grill. I mean, so, those bad seed oils that they're cooking with can affect you. Now, I know that most of the time I'm not. So I try to do the best I can when I'm out, and then when I'm at home, I do the right thing. And so you really have to look at it. If you're only eating wings from that place, like say once every few weeks, if you're okay with the inflammation and know it's coming and know what's causing it, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you can, go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I just want to give a shout out right now to Janice McGovern, who says walking with a walker is good exercise right now.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Janice has been going through some health stuff, recovering. Listen to that attitude. If you are not having to walk with a walker right now, then you have no excuse for not walking, right? Like Janice is making it happen, realizing that as she recovers, she doesn't want to lose the mobility that she already has. She wants to recover well and continue moving forward and be able to walk past this time in her life. And I'm just so incredibly proud of you, Janice. And it just makes me, it helps me have a good attitude, because sometimes I can have a good attitude and harness these good thoughts to move me forward. And sometimes I need to look at somebody like Janice and be like, if she's not using any excuse to not get movement in, who am I? Right. Who am I to waste this day and not decide that movement is important to my body and get it in? So thank you, Janice, for that powerful reminder.
Next one's from Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Rachel, you have a beautiful voice.
Aww.
I love your joy. My sweet hubby passed away last year, and I need all the joy I can get. I went keto 2018. I've lost 35 pounds, and my hubby got sick in 2021. I started eating bad again, and finally at the end of 2023, I gained 25 of my 35 back. So I started Ketovore on January 8th. I've only lost 5 pounds. I've been stuck for a week. I'm tracking food and not cheating. I'm also walking an hour or so every day. Any idea of why I'm not losing? I'm having non-scale victories, but I want to lose weight. First of all, you've only been stuck for a week.
Right.
That's not a stall.
The other thing is, so when we talked about like the year, like last year, 2023, I had like an amazing drop in weight, like 30 pounds of weight changed because I was able to do some stress management, and it made the difference. So I'm eating the same way, reducing stress, like governing my sleep, being really like present about that, and I watched the pounds melt off. This year, our schedule has been awesome, but stressful, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's been a lot of things that I haven't been able to just have a lot of me time. I have had, like when we were on the set of RV Unplugged, I would say I ate almost like carnivore for the most part because I wanted to reduce any space for inflammation that was even humanly possible, right? But we were highly stressed. Our sleep was jacked because you didn't know what you were doing. We've had a really intense travel schedule. And so I have felt like inflammation myself, even though I am not eating any differently. So as we mourn, grieve the loss of somebody, like we're living our life, there are stressors in our life that will cause fluctuations up and down in our weight loss journey. I don't want you to get discouraged about it. I'm not discouraged about it. One of the things that's really helped me was getting rid of the scale. Okay, so we got rid of the scale. Really thankful for that. So when I say like, gosh, I put on my shirt and it feels tighter than it did the last time I wore it, I know there's inflammation present. Like I know there's stuff going on. So but I'm not going to stress about it. I don't need to get on the scale and be upset with myself. I am just going to keep doing what I'm doing and find ways to stress reduce, to get my good sleep when I can get my good sleep, and then just continue eating the same keto way.
Kathy, thank you very much, who just gifted 10 Too Crazy Ketos
Yay!
memberships. Thanks, you so much
Kathy.
for that. We just got a $10 super chat from Carnivorewillf.
Hey, what's
Thank you very
up?
much. Says, good morning. What is your opinion about people who say they can't eat red meat because they're a type A blood type? Also, just still waiting for a response to my email. Oh, I sent you a response.
Oh,
I don't know why you didn't get it. I'll look when I accidentally deleted like every one of my saved emails today. So I spent a couple of hours
That was fun this morning.
undeleting emails. But I know I did send it. I think it's nonsense. I'd have him go watch Dr. Barry's video. There's no such thing as an allergy to beef.
With one exception.
With one exception, and that's if you've been bitten by, and again, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. I've done a lot of research on this, and I've talked to several doctors, and they say there's no such thing as a beef allergy, unless you've been bitten by a certain tick, at which point, many times they're allergic to beef, but not other forms of ruminant animals. It's very extensive testing.
It's not a WebMD.
It's not
diagnose yourself.
Like I'm getting nauseous. There's so many different aspects to that. And so I don't want to get into it, but people who say like, well, I'm a blood type, I think it's another one of those things that has gotten made up. Before I started keto, when I was working out with a personal trainer at a CrossFit, he tried telling me the same thing. Well, your blood type says you should only eat vegetables and fruit.
Right.
I'm sorry, but there is a reason that many vegans get sick. They do lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to bash veganism. But what I'm saying is it's not necessarily the healthiest way to eat unless you are going to heavily supplement. You have to heavily supplement because there is a long laundry list of vitamins and nutrients that you cannot get that are required by our bodies, but you cannot get them from only eating vegetables.
Yeah.
And so that in itself should say right there, this is not the appropriate way to eat. if we can't get them and your body can't utilize them, then there's a problem. Like you can go to the store and buy something that says you're getting 5,000 milligrams of magnesium in it. But if it's magnesium oxide, your body's not using any of it. And it's the same thing. You can say plants and vegetables have all these nutrients, but if your body can't utilize them because you're not giving yourself any fat, there's a problem there.
I think sometimes we want to have a hypothesis for whatever reason that we do. And sometimes, I'm really looking forward to the Citizen Scientist Foundation conference that's going to be taking place in Vegas next month. One of the things that really grinds my gears is when someone decides, like, hey, this is my hypothesis, and instead of doing authentic experiments, they're just going to start laying on just nonsense to, like, prove me right.
Right.
Like, I'm not interested. Like, what is the thing that, like, upsets us the most with Ansel Keys, right? Was the whole thing of...
We faked a study.
Was like, I only am going to include information that tries to support, like, my thought.
Right.
And I'm not doing a real experiment.
Next one's from Vicky. So coconut oil fixes constipation. I must have missed something. So if you have a constipation issue, we talked about it real briefly because I don't want to get too long today.
Yeah.
If you're having a constipation issue, increase fat, increase salt. Those are the two things that will generally help you. So Peyton's doctor, when she was struggling with a little bit of constipation early on, the doctor told Michelle, rub a little bit of coconut oil because it's a
right
fat.
On her gums.
And that's why if you consume too much of it,
you'll know.
You go the other way.
Yes.
So, but yeah, when you increase fat, it helps things move.
Release the Kraken.
Let's take a quick fade to black. Okay, first one we have is from Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Just an FYI. The unflavored and raw salt and element work great as salt on hard-boiled eggs.
It's good because we need to be able to use it for stuff.
I know. But
And
I'm just
I don't,
sighing because you're like, well, you can use the unflavored, but I can't eat a hard-boiled egg, so.
Is this your excuse? But yeah, no, I think that is awesome.
I never thought about that. I thought it was good advice. That's why
I think that's great advice.
Next one is from Tracy.
Hey, Tracy. Maybe someone, can point me in the right direction to get the answer I need to a question. My sister isn't on keto, but starting to see the light as the need to go there. Found out her red blood cell count was on the high side. It could very well be that she's on a water pill and blood pressure medicine. Anyways, she's wanting to start to try and lose weight so she can get off the meds, so is slowly easing into keto. She's the type that has to convince herself that she's not changing things when she is. Her iron also came back low as well. Has anyone had this issue, and what did you do to help correct it? Of course, I told her all the better to start eating keto to get off those meds.
So again, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. Everything we talk about is based on our own personal experience, what I learned when I was becoming a certified master health coach, as well as talking to people who are doctors, nurses, and health professionals. I think she's on the right track.
Yeah.
I would not get off a medication on my own and make sure you're talking to your doctor while you're doing it. And the more she gears towards not keto, because like there's a lot of different definitions of keto.
But if you're getting meat-based,
the more you gear towards what Dr. Berry calls the proper human diet, eating a whole food diet, mostly meat, maybe a little bit of veggies if you want veggies, the easier and the faster it's going to happen.
Super fast.
Things like iron, like we recently had somebody in our life who had low iron and the doctor literally told her to eat cereal.
Thank you.
What? Like
Cheerios.
You're an ignorant doctor.
Right.
Sorry. You're an ignorant doctor. I'm not going to say the name, so I can't get in trouble for saying a doctor who says that you should just eat more cereal because your iron is low.
Wow.
Is an ignorant doctor.
That's
because can
rough.
you please tell me where the iron is coming from when I'm eating cereal? You want to increase your iron? Go eat meat.
Yes.
Eat beef. Eat liver. Those are the things that are going to help increase your iron. And then Neely has all kinds of videos. Yeah, I say Andy's pointing it out about iron deficiency. But I can guarantee you, Neely is not eating cereal.
More Cheerios,
to
please.
increase her iron. But if she's got a lot of different pills and a lot of different issues, the closer she can get to eating a strict, like carnivore, ketovore, just meat and vegetables, the better
Joe,
she's going
are
to
you
have.
suggesting that an animated bee may not be the best source for dispensing medical advice?
No.
Okay. I mean, that's news to me.
Next one is from Melissa.
Hey, Melissa, does anyone have an app they can recommend with use of a Dexcom CGM that helps track food and meals and helps analyze data? I know Serious Keto uses something, but I'm not sure it works with Dexcom. Under My Fork is one I was looking at.
So there's a few different tracking apps that you can use in conjunction with the CGM. I don't do too much with the Dexcom because I've tried it. I paid a ridiculous amount of money to mess with the Dexcom. But the Dexcoms are so ridiculously expensive compared to the Freestyle Libres and I personally don't think it's worth it. Now, if you've got insurance paying for your Dexcom, it is it's a much better CGM than the Freestyle. One of the biggest things I like about it is the fact that you can calibrate it, which you cannot do with the Freestyle. But if you're just buying the Dexcom and you're paying for it, I would suggest using the Freestyle. A lot of the tracking apps will import data, especially from the Freestyle. There's a few from Dexcom. What Steve is using is a program called Levels. And basically what that is you sign up with them and then they're going to send you the Dexcom once a month or whatever frequency you want with it. Again, the problem with that, we've spoken with them, but I feel like it's too expensive for the average person, so I don't really want to promote it because it's somewhere between $400 and $500 a month to have that, and it goes down that. The best thing to do would be just, if you want simple and you definitely want to use the Dexcom, is use a tracking app to track your food, and then also have your Dexcom and you can kind of just go back and forth and you can make notations. Like if you're using Chronometer, you could make notations about what's going on within Chronometer. Next one is from Pam.
Hey Pam, I've been in a stall for a while. Watched the latest 2KK video that said you can hit a stall not eating enough. I tracked for the first time in a long while. I am stuffed. How do you eat more?
So one of the things is I noticed with this, Pam was looking at the calories. It comes down to the food. It's one thing to eat low calories, but if you're eating all the right nutrient-dense foods, it doesn't mean as much. People want to look at calories and go, oh, like I'm eating, 1,300 calories, but where are the 1,300 calories coming from? If it's just high protein and low fat, you're not giving yourself any fuel. If you're eating at least 100 grams of protein and then between 100 and 200 grams of fat a day, you're probably eating enough food for yourself. But take a look at when you say I can't eat anymore, what is that comprised of? Like what's in that food? Are you eating a steak dinner with a giant salad? Well, that salad's filling you up. Like cut the salad out because you're not getting a lot of nutrition from it anyway. And instead of having that big salad, eat another 4 ounces of beef.
Right.
So that's what you have to look at. That's why we say for people who have had like gastric bypass surgery or things like that, where they just cannot physically consume a lot of food.
Nutrient density is
it's all about nutrient density.
Totally.
If you're having a hard time consuming the amount of food that you should be consuming, then you should not be eating any type of keto treat, any kind of vegetables and fruits, because you need the nutrients that come in meat.
Right.
Meat's got more nutrients than any of the vegetables, and so you can't afford to fill up your stomach with bulk from filler foods, basically. Yeah. Like, why do they put rice and stuff like that in dog food? It's a filler.
It's filler.
It fills their belly. They're not getting any nutrition out of it, and that's why, like, Tabitha, who's laying down here, she eats a grain-free food, she doesn't poop as much.
Right.
She poops like twice a day.
Well, think about any of the stuff that was superfluous that you would add, like rice or beans or all of those stuff to make it stretch, right? Like you make a pot of something, if you add a starch to it, what are you trying to do? Make it feed more people, make it last longer, fill up the girth. So if you're not trying to accomplish that, then you need to make sure that it's nutrient dense so that you get in, because you've only got a certain amount of space.
Life by the Sea After Stroke 2020. What is the process to get to the membership area?
Hi, Christine.
If you're talking about the membership area for our Mighty Networks group, when you log in, members at twocrazyketos.com, if you want to like support us financially, over on the left-hand side, there's groups, and you just choose the group you want to join. You have to do it on a website. You cannot do it on the app. Once you're in, you can use the app, but we've turned off the ability to sign up as a paying member on the app because they charge 30% more. On YouTube itself, there's a membership section, and it's pretty much a way to say thank you to us. And when we do a live stream, we'll invite people there. We don't do too much because YouTube takes 30%. So it's more of a way that people say like, hey, thank you. And they throw us a couple of dollars. So we really appreciate that. Next one is from Christy.
Hey, Christy. Some days I'm getting too much fat. Other days, not enough. My sugar is all over the place trying to regulate without carbs. I'm feeling defeated tonight. I'm not losing weight. I feel like I'm doing the right things, but I don't know. I know I'm not giving specifics about what I'm doing, but I'm too mentally and physically exhausted to type it out right now. I had a stomach virus last week. My husband and son have the flu. It's just been really hard for all of us this past week and a half. Christy, do what is important, which is get well, get your husband well, get your child well. That is all you need to do. Are you eating keto? Can you answer the question honestly? I'm staying keto. Yes, to the best of your ability. When you can move your body, are you trying to move your body? Is the answer yes? Then you're doing all that you can do. The other things that you can't control, then you've got to find a way to find peace in that moment, because the stress about it is causing more of a stall. It's making it harder. It's like you have to climb over this wall of worry and doubt and frustration to get to the next day. And that's very stressful on your body. And a lot of times I think we're just like, I'm just going to be so angry and frustrated. That's going to plow through this wall. No, the anger and the frustration that you're creating, it is the wall. So we've got to find a way to slow down and find joy in each day. Yeah. Like that is the hard thing, because when you notice something that you're dissatisfied about, you want to fixate on that thing. I can watch the chickens outside. You talk about like being henpecked. If there is a blemish on one of the other chickens, the other, like that chicken has to go to the other side of the yard and hide itself until that blemish heals. Why? Because the other chickens cannot stop pecking at it. Right. Like they have to deal with it. So if you're like, man, I cannot stop fixating on how I'm aggravated about, losing weight, then you have to, if you're doing everything that you can, you have to decide, I'm going to occupy my time with something else.
And the other thing that I would say is, you said sometimes I'm eating enough fat, sometimes I'm not. Try to be as consistent as you can.
Yeah.
Next one is from Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
Could someone point me to directions on how to make ketochow ice cream in a creamy?
Sure,
I thought there were a few videos on it, but I'm not finding it. Yeah, we have several on our YouTube channel. Here's how you make ketochow ketochow ice cream in a creamy. You make your ketochow. Put it in a blender bottle. Or what we do is we actually use the creamy container because it allows us to measure it all out. 3 to 4 ounces minimum of melted butter, or 3 to 4 ounces of heavy whipping cream. Some people are going to use less. I think it tastes best when it's 3 to 4 ounces.
It's ice cream.
And it's ice cream, and it should be fatty, and it's also a meal.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, why are we trying to make our meal 250 calories? Stop. Okay, your meal
Stop the insanity.
For everybody, your meal should be 400 to 500 minimum calories. So I don't think you need to cut it down to like 2 tablespoons of melted butter. It's going to be ice milk. The less fat you put in on ice cream, it's not going to be that good.
I don't like ice milk.
So what we do is we like to use melted butter. We melt 3 to 4 tablespoons of melted butter. We put that in our creamy container. Or actually what I do is I melt it in a glass thing. Then I pour that into the creamy container. Then I fill up my measuring cup that I melted the butter in with warm water, and I pour that in there, and I go to line on the creamy container. Then you add your package of ketochow. From there, you mix it in a blender. Okay, you don't even have to put the ketochow in there. Just use that to measure your liquid. Dump it in your blender. Put in your ketochow. Blend it really well. Pour it back into the creamy container, and then go ahead and freeze it. If you're using heavy cream, you don't have to use a blender. Just 4 ounces of heavy whipping cream, fill it up to the line with water, dump your ketochow in there, shake, blend it really, really, really well. I still like using a blender, and then put it in the freezer. It's that simple. You're literally taking a ketochow and putting it in a creamy container. That's all you need to do. Now, sometimes we will add an eighth of a teaspoon of tarragon because that makes it creamier. You can get that on Amazon. Next one is from Sonia.
Hey, Sonia. Okay, friends, trying to lock down my protein and fat macros. I've been counting pork belly as weighed prior to air frying, but I'm now wondering if that's wrong and I should be weighing it after cooking.
So I saw you put a post up earlier, Sonia. I believe in counting before, okay, because you want to make sure you're getting enough protein and more. There are more accurate things about pre-cooked meat because it's coming from the USDA as opposed to when people put in like, this is cooked. Well, there's so many variables to when you've cooked it.
Right.
There's just too many variables to what you're putting, like what you're getting. So I believe in like, if I'm going to eat, I've got, for example, ground beef. I'm cooking a pound of ground beef. It's a pound. That pound is going to end up somewhere around 10 to 12 ounces of cooked. I like to put it in because the protein amount doesn't change. So if you have a pound of like ground beef uncooked, that will have the same amount of protein as about 10 to 12 ounces of cooked ground beef. What changes is the fat and the water overall weight. The reason the weight goes down is because you're getting rid of the water. My belief is if you look at something like a pound of ground beef and it's got X amount of fat and X amount of protein, you may lose some of the fat in the cooking process depending on how you're cooking it. Like you're cooking, pork belly in an air fryer. Well, some of that fat's going to cook and it's going to render down. It's going to go into the bottom and now you're not going to consume it. So you might be consuming less fat than you think you are, but I think it's always better to consume less than you thought than more than you thought. Because what happens is people go, okay, well, I did this. Well, when you look at the nutrition calculators and things like Chronometer and it says 1 pound of cooked pork belly, there's no way they know how much fat you actually cooked off.
Are you licking the bottom of the air fryer?
Right. Like if you cook a pound of ground beef in a frying pan and then pour all of that fat back over, that would not be the same as someone who cooked a pound of ground beef on a grill and all the fat dripped down in the grill.
Right.
So I believe that you always weigh everything before cooking, but no matter what you do, you want to be consistent with it. Don't do some one way and some the other. Next one is from Andy.
Hey, Andy. For a few years, I have been a prepper. Insert joke now about the zombie apocalypse. I'm finding many of my food preps are items I no longer eat. Some are eaten by my husband. And mulling over how to proceed, whether to add to my stash with things I would eat or just stop. Realizing we never know what will happen in the future as far as our health needs are concerned.
I just realized we're like 10, 20 minutes past our time.
Oh, sorry.
Real quick, I want to get through all of these and still we have some chat. We still believe in prepping, not for the zombie apocalypse, not for the end of the world, but it's hurricane season. You just never know. No matter where you are in the country, there could always be a natural disaster that you could put you with 1, 2, 3 a month without like having access to food.
We just change what we
So we just
purchase.
changed what we prep. So we keep ketochow, keto brick, we have butter powder, things like that, avocado oil, stuff that you can actually eat without cooking. And so I would just switch over and get a few shelf-stable things like that.
And maybe slowly donate the things that you currently have. Yeah. Like if you want it to serve somebody else, like that could be where the past things that you've prepping that you do not want to consume anymore can still go on to bless somebody else.
Next one's from Tina.
What's the best non-dairy fat to use in ketochow core?
Beef tallow.
Beef tallow.
Yeah.
It is flippin' awesome.
Yeah, use beef
so
tallow.
good.
You can also use avocado oil. You could use coconut milk.
Beef
like
tallow.
not the cartons of coconut milk, like cans of coconut milk or cans of coconut cream. They are higher in carbs, but with the ketochow core, which is a beef-based protein, I find that beef tallow is the best. Next one is from Sue.
Hey, Sue.
I'm just curious, what is the purpose of beef, butter, bacon, egg besides discipline? A lot of different things. The biggest thing is beef, butter, bacon, egg is an elimination challenge. You are eliminating pretty much anything that could be causing inflammation in you because you're eating the healthiest foods that you can eat. Beef, beating any ruminant animal, butter, bacon, which is just there because bacon, and then eggs, which, think about an egg, it literally brings life. It has all of the vitamins and nutrients we need in the appropriate amount. So by doing that for 30, 60, or 90 days, you're eliminating everything else. It helps you to figure out what is causing issues for you. Some people found that like eating excess amounts of chicken causes problems with them. Certain vegetables causes problems with them. Sweeteners, dairy.
Caffeine.
So you're eliminating all that. It also helps you get in touch with your satiety because it's very difficult to overeat beef, butter, bacon, and egg. If you're doing it the way you're supposed to do it, you're going to eat as much as you want, as many times a day as you want, so long as every time you eat, you're eating until you're stuffed.
Right.
So generally, it's going to be 2 or 3 meals a day. You're going to eat until you're stuffed, and then you do not eat anything in between any of your meals, and you will really get in touch with your satiety.
It's interesting. You'll hear people all of the time touting a detox, a cleanse.
Beef, butter, bacon, egg
like
is
a 30-day cleanse, a 30-day detox of like all of the things in your body. It's the perfect one. Like, you don't have to buy a whole bunch of pills. You don't have to like do anything weird. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs will give you like a whole bunch of information as to what your body likes, what your body doesn't like, where are you actually hungry, when are you emotionally eating, and it cleanses out a lot of stuff. Like, it on the other side of it, you can decide, hey, I'm not going to bring in sweeteners or caffeine back into my life. It's amazing what it can speak into.
Well, Dawn says beef, butter, bacon, egg is less stressful for me to know what is for dinner. It's super easy and less stressful.
If you are going through a time, that is the one thing that I did know when we were on RV Unplugged, we would be under stress. I knew that. Right. I knew we would be under stress.
It just makes it easier.
It just made life easier.
Next one's from Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
Lesson, because we have another, there's no H.
All right.
Well, lesson learned. I fell off the wagon. I landed face first into the mud. I was sick all night and finally got sick in the bathroom. I felt better. I also learned a very valuable lesson. It's not worth it. Back on track today, a little wiser for the mistake I made.
Wow.
And people ask us, they're like, how come you guys don't cheat? How have you not cheated? Because I don't want to get sick.
So let's go ahead. Like, if Teresa is going to be so honest and vulnerable and desires to be helpful to everybody by saying, hey, you don't have to try like the cheat. I did it for you. This is the lesson that I learned. Learn from my experience. It doesn't end well. Like, if you see a pothole in the road and like a car in front of you, go over that. I don't need to verify that the pothole hurts by going over it also. So thank you for that, Teresa.
Next one is from Sonia.
Hey, Sonia, has anyone experienced really low glucose levels while sleeping, like below 70? I had 2 readings at 50. I'm thinking due to intermittent fasting. I'm wearing a CGM for 2 weeks to just see where my levels are. Okay,
Sonia, Dr. Boz has a great video on this. You can go research and look for that. But Rachel's is always in the 50s when she's sleeping.
Yepers.
If you're eating a strict, true ketogenic carnivore diet, it's completely normal for your glucose to be between 50 and 70 while you're sleeping. Your glucose should always be dropping at night. Even people who are eating the standard American diet, their glucose is supposed to go down at night and would generally go into some form of ketosis if they're eating appropriately. The problem is most of us, when we were on the standard American diet, had put ourselves into like insulin resistance or pre-diabetes.
Then you've got crappy sleep on top of it.
So if you are eating a really good ketogenic or carnivore diet, it's perfectly normal for your glucose to drop that low because you're using ketones for fuel. It's not the same as somebody who's eating the standard American diet and needs that sugar to function. So I wouldn't worry about it as much. Again, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but Dr. Boz is a doctor, and she's got a whole video explaining how, like, her glucose regularly drops into the 50s. Dr. Sivas, I believe, also has a video on that.
Yeah.
One more is from Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Said, don't be afraid of fear. Don't let fear rule you. For the moments when you're challenged by fears like, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Will I fail? Look fear straight in its ugly face and barge forward. When you get past it, turn around, give it a good swift kick in the ass.
Wow.
Helen Mirren.
That's amazing. You know, when someone says, like, what's the secret to your success, and you see a celebrity like that, like, what's the secret to your success? Like, how do you stay in this place? I think about all the obstacles that an actress of her age has probably met over the years, and, like, she's had to pivot her career accordingly. But it begins by deciding, like, what I'm going to focus on, how I'm going to respond to negative thoughts that I may have of myself, even reactions of others. Like, how am I going to deal with it?
A few comments. Trish said, non-scale victory, I fit into a shirt I bought last year.
Yay!
That was way too tight then.
Way to go, Trish.
Penny, emergency here.
Hey, Penny.
I'm supposed to make the pumpkin sausage soup, but I don't have the pumpkin ketochow. Has anyone used a different flavor with a good outcome? Yes, use snickerdoodle.
Yeah, use that. And then you can also get, like, if you have the pumpkin spice or whatever, to add a little more pumpkin to it.
Use snickerdoodle and add a little bit of pumpkin spice flavorings to it. Trish said, I'm excited for spring because I plan to ditch or donate a ton of winter clothes this year. By next year, I'm going to need several sizes smaller.
And let me tell you, that is such a blessing. I have a friend in West Virginia that every single year they do a big coat drive for people. And so there's so many families that are going to be blessed by your donation. Some of the ways to, like, you know, if you're saying, like, I want to stick to this, I want to continue having momentum. It's not just for you, but it's for the other people that you can bless when you donate the clothes that you have, because that's going to be a blessing to a lot of people.
Joe said getting annual passes and taking our son to Disney monthly from around 20 months old was the best thing ever. People said it was a waste. He won't remember, but we do, and that has been worth everything.
Amen.
Yep, and listen, I know very well that, like, Peyton isn't going to remember, like, us taking her
details
to Disney
of yesterday
and us taking her to Universal and going, but there will be pictures of it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's good for us. It helps us.
Well,
it's our memories.
And the thing is that your family needs that
and they're free right now.
Right. Well, right. The baby's free. It's not going to be, like, a lot of times people talk about, like, that closeness with your family. I want closeness. It's made one day at a time. Yep. You know, it's funny. Parents would come to me and say, like, how do you prepare yourself for, like, even the talk with your kids? And it's like, you're preparing for important talks and important moments in your kid's life every single day. When they want to tell you the entire episode of, like, Elmo or whatever cartoon that they were watching, or they want to tell you, like, My Pet Turtle and those moments, and it's like this long, exhaustive story, and you're just, like, having to muster patience to listen to what they're saying to you. That's what's building up credibility for later when you want them to come to you. They need to have a muscle memory. They need to have all of these experiences that you've built up. Those are deposits that you're making in the relationship ATM that you will want to withdraw from later on when they're adults. But if you're like, hey, when it's, like, cool or convenient to hang out, that's when we will build that relationship. No, you won't.
Jen said, can I get too many electrolytes? I've been using Relight and I'm kind of addicted to it. Okay. I'm not going to say you can't ever, but on keto, it is very difficult to overdo electrolytes unless you're just not consuming any fluids. Because our body's very good at regulating our electrolytes. When you're on a ketogenic diet, you don't have the same glycogen stores, which is where your body has a lot of those electrolytes stored. So you don't have the same glycogen stores as somebody on the standard American diet. That's why you get the big whoosh when you first start keto. Many times you lose those glycogen stores. If you go off of keto for an extended period of time, they build back up, and then when you go back on, they all go away. So on keto, you need to use more electrolytes because we are a very active. And the thing is those electrolytes control so much in your body, so much function, like potassium with your muscles and magnesium with your muscles. So if you're not consuming enough, you could have some other issues, especially with sodium. And people have built up this fear to having so much sodium. Somebody recently commented on one of our videos, like, Salty has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, and that's half of what you should be consuming. It's just not true. But unfortunately, it's been ingrained to us as like the book, The Salt Fix, talks about. We have demonized the wrong white powder in the United States. Robert Sykes puts out every Sunday his 7-set Sunday newsletter. He's consuming 9,000 milligrams of sodium right now per day.
Doesn't look like he's doing
He's
too
doing
bad.
pretty good, right? So I'm not going to say it's impossible to overdo electrolytes, but it's a lot more difficult when you're on a ketogenic, if you're sticking to true keto.
Now we highly recommend that, like, whenever you're using like a drink, an electrolyte drink, make sure that you're using the prescribed water to balance with that. Like, they've done the hard work of saying, like, hey, you need this much water. A lot of times, we underdrink water, especially during the winter months. Like, when it's hot outside, you want a cold drink, you want a lot of cold beverages and stuff, but sometimes we get a little stingy with like the actual water during winter time.
There's no minimum amount of water that you need, but
drink as thirsty.
Your body, if you have too many electrolytes, will simply flush them out.
Right.
They'll pee out, they'll poop out in the form of diarrhea. But if you're not consuming enough liquid for it to do that, it's gonna store inside of your body, and you're gonna get inflammation. I recently watched a video from someone on like what you shouldn't have on a cruise ship, and they were like, don't drink the water on a cruise ship because it's desalinated water. Because basically, if you don't know, the way cruise ships work, they literally take the ocean water and they desalinate it and then filter it, and it's now drinkable. And people say that, well, drinking that desalinated water will cause inflammation and cause you to have water weight gain because it's still got salt in it, which doesn't make any sense when it's desalinated. But it's not from that. They're probably having inflammation because they're consuming a whole bunch of salted food on the cruise, and then they're not consuming enough fluids, probably a lot of times too many alcohols, and they can't flush the excess sodium that they're consuming out. That's what happens. You consume a lot of sodium, but not enough liquid, and now your body can't flush it out, so you get water weight gain. Oops, I just didn't mean to delete one, but I can't fix it now. John said, no, veggie diets are way too nutrient deficient. Weight loss is because of malnutrition. That is absolutely true. Like, even weight loss on keto, it is, you're not giving yourself enough fuel. And so your body burns fat. That's why you hit stalls and you have to work its way back up.
I think the one that you accidentally deleted was from Joanna that was talking about, like, hey, are you just watching this live stream and not moving? Get up and sit back down and do some movement. Yeah. One of the things that I do when I am reviewing a video that Joe I pace, or I go out of the house and I walk around the block. If you enjoy watching videos, listening to podcasts, like, pair it with movement. Don't just be sitting there. Go ahead and like walk around the block. Like, the podcast can come with you.
Joanna said, my stall is gone, down 2 pounds this month. That's a big deal. Was stalled for 2 years. Hallelujah. Thanks, Joe and Rachel, for not giving up.
Never.
Last one, Christine said, Rachel and Joe, have you found Clean Steakum brand to make your meat crisp? I've looked at many, and many of them have bad oils and filler ingredients. The ones that we buy are just
Philly
beef.
Gourmet, it's only beef. So if you, Philly Gourmet, I bought it at BJ's. I noticed that they've changed the package. They're selling them. It's the same thing. It's in a smaller package. I guess that I was pleasantly surprised to see it because I started to panic because the big box was like going away. But it looks like that they're storing them in a smaller box. But it's just on the package, beef. That's it. So check out and see if Philly Gourmet isn't one that might be in your area.
Okay, we are going to get off. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a couple of videos coming out this week. I have lacrosse games every single day this week. And then we will be back live on Thursday. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday is actually a double video day. There'll be a video in the morning and then the live stream at night.
We love you guys.
Guys, thank you so much. Bye.